What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we reacting to insane cartoon secrets that you never knew. Let's get into it. Alright, let's see what we got.
Cartoons. They're what all childhoods are made of. However, we all have to grow up, and one thing life teaches us is that not everything is as it seems. Cartoons included. So today we'll be
Let me know if y'all ever had a show that y'all watch, and then you watch it like a few years later, and you was like, what was I watching? Nick, give an example of a show you watched.
Ranging from the practical secrets of animation that will blow your mind to the peculiar reasons why The Simpsons are yellow. We'll also check out the adult jokes you missed in SpongeBob and a sprinkling of very sinister theories and interpretations that, fair warning, may just ruin your childhood favorites forever. So stick with me as I reveal some of the craziest and darkest cartoon secrets you won't believe are true. Daddy issues. Since debuting in 1989, The Simpsons has certainly earned its place in pop culture's Hall of Fame. With a perfect mix of relatable family life moments and hilarious satire, even predicting the future at times, The Simpsons is seemingly a form of eternal entertainment. Needless to say, in its long-running history, a few strange mysteries have arisen, with some remarkable theories attempting to explain them. For instance, the question of who Ralph Wiggum's real dad is. But Chief Wiggum is Ralph's dad, I'm sure you're exclaiming. But you just might be wrong.
They look alike.
Think about it. The two of them bear virtually no resemblance. Sure, Ralph has similar features to his mom. Two of them bear virtually no...
Don't y'all see a resemblance? Wait, hold up. They both fat. They don't got the same hair. Not the same nose. They got the same ears. How can that not be his dad?
No resemblance. Sure, Ralph has similar features to his mom Sarah, such as her eyes and nose, but he seems to have inherited none of Chief Clancy's ruggedly handsome
his size. He don't got his mom's size.
The question is, if Wiggum isn't Ralph's father, then which Springfielder is? Well, for a while now, fans have had one gentleman caller on their radar. Eddie, Chief Wiggum's colleague. And it makes sense. Both he and Sarah would be naturally acquainted, not to mention that Eddie and Ralph have strikingly similar hairdos. Oh. But of course, this is all just conjecture.
Why would he be taking care of his colleague kid? Or did the mom cheat on him with his colleague?
Well, until recently, yes. But in season 34, episode Lisa the Boy Scout, the show writers actually addressed the rumors.
I know Eddie is Ralph's father.
Look at the hair. He found out.
Look at the hair.
No, Clancy, I swear to you, it's not true.
My son's breath smells like cat food.
Okay, you got me.
So there you have it. Eddie is, in fact, Ralph's dad. Seems like Sarah has some explaining to do. But wait a moment. It turns out the clip we just saw is from an episode that, according to the Simpsons wiki, isn't actually considered canon, meaning it was purely a self-aware throwaway joke. So right now, the mystery seems to be officially unresolved.
But it makes
Fortunately,
sense.
for some peace of mind by contrast, there's no denying that my dad is my dad. We're identical. Tricks of the trade. By their very nature, cartoons aren't intended to be realistic. I mean, how many grand pianos have you been crushed by lately? I spoke too soon. But besides sky-falling pianos, there's something distinctly unrealistic about classic cartoons. Their fingers. Just take notice of your favorite cartoon characters. Chances are they only have 4 digits. There surely must be a reason for this, no? Well, around the early 20th century, when animation was still new, it was a very costly process. In fact, adjusted for inflation, Disney's 1928 7-minute short.
What's the point of writing over it?
When animation was still new,
I don't understand that.
Was a very costly process. In fact, adjusted for inflation, Disney's 1928 7-minute short, Steamboat Willie, cost over $87,000. Now, granted, Pixar movies nowadays cost as much as $100,000 per minute of animation, but these modern
Look at
flicks
the
are way more
the
complex, and
graphics.
Disney has a ton more resources available now than it did back in the Steamboat Willie days. Back then, Disney animators had to be thrifty. They realized that drawing just one less finger saved a ton
You
of
gotta
time.
give Disney they flowers. Look how far they came. Let's just clap it up for them a little bit. They came from drawings to CGI in over. I think they started in 1999. Now it's 2025.
In turn, saved heaps of moolah.
I
This
feel like
cost
they could have took
effectiveness
them.
is part of the reason why classic cartoons look like, well, cartoons. Realism was just far too arduous and expensive, so
But did
characters
they-
were
did
aesthetically
they,
simplified. Even
did
in
they
more
change
recent
that about
times,
them?
animators have created
How many
similar
fingers they got?
shortcuts, such as Ursula the octopus having only 6 tentacles instead of 8. Intriguingly, given that cartoon fingers need to be large enough to see individually, animators have also concluded that 5 fingers just don't look right. While Disney
What?
even said himself if Mickey Mouse had 5 fingers, his hands would look like bunches of bananas. And that's an image no one wants to imagine. But speaking
you're
of
right.
Mickey's
That
hands, what
wouldn't
is the
look
deal
right.
with those gloves? What's he hiding? Hidden hand tattoos? Concealed
Because
magical...
they gotta give detail. If it just look like a lot of hands, that's just not gonna look
Ice
right.
powers? Green, rotten, infected claws from some rare rodent illness? Nope, nope, and no. While it's possible Mickey's fingers may look all kinds of weird under those gloves, there are a few official reasons classic cartoon characters like Mickey wear white gloves. Similar to the 4-finger situation, drawing gloves was quicker and easier, which ultimately cut down costs. You see, hands present several time-consuming challenges, such as joints and nails. That's why I don't have them. Gloves, on the other hand, pun fully intended, were an easy way for animators to convey hand gestures without the need to worry about minor details. It also had to do with color. Colored TV wasn't mainstream until around the 1960s, and consequently, characters
What?
like Mickey Mouse began their life in black and white.
It took
For
that
Mickey, a
long.
mostly black character, it made sense for him to have contrasting white hands, as they'd otherwise get lost when interacting with his black body, which can actually be seen here in Steamboat Willie, when Mickey didn't yet have gloves. In addition to that, Walt also revealed in his 1957 biography that gloves were intended to make Mickey, a rodent, look a little more human.
I know
guess the red pants
the person that created this not alive no more, but when did he die?
weren't quite enough. 4 fingers aside, can you spot anything that iconic cartoon characters like these 3 have in common? Yep, they each have something around their neck, which, as I'll explain, is completely intentional.
Play this game with us.
Let's go.
Make your very own monster.
What kind of monster do you want to build?
A cute monster. Will you help me?
Skip this.
Click here to build your...
In 1940, animation duo William Hanna and Joseph Barbera created what is now a cartoon icon, Tom and Jerry. By 1957, the pair formed
That's one of the
Hanna-Barbera Studios
top
and began
cartoons
churning
ever.
out hit
And it's
after
still
hit.
going.
Titles
People still
included The
watching it.
Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear,
Little
and the
kids.
Jetsons, to name a few. Hanna-Barbera was going pedal to the metal, and it needed a way to streamline things, which was achieved by the unlikely addition of neck pieces. Hanna-Barbera
I never saw
discovered
this
that
show.
if they added something around the neck to divide the head from the body, they could get away with animating only the
When
head.
I was young, I mostly watched PBS Kids. I was never really on like I was on Disney, but
Using the
not
same
that
static
much.
drawing for the body when characters
So I
were
don't
stood
know all
still.
these characters.
Just take notice here how both
Like, I don't
Wilma
know-
and Betty's
I don't know
bodies
who these
are
people are.
completely still, while their heads, divided by their necklaces, are the only things moving. Pretty clever, huh?
I never
There's no
realized
doubt
that.
these classic cartoonists were true masters of the phrase, why work harder when you can work smarter?
That is smart.
Colorful characters. Part of what makes the Simpsons family so iconic is their unique design. But do you actually know why they have yellow skin and such bizarre shaped heads?
Why?
In 1985, producer James L. Brooks proposed that Matt Groening adapt his comic book strip Life in Hell for short animations to be featured on The Tracy Ullman
It was
Show.
bunnies at first?
Fearing that this might entail him giving up ownership of his characters, Matt decided to create some new ones instead. The story goes that one day he was left waiting over an hour for a meeting, so he got to doodling. In that time, he claims he created the Simpsons family, which was essentially based on his own. Matt's real-life parents were called Homer and Margaret. He also had two little sisters, Lisa and Maggie, and an
Oh, it's
older
based
sister
off real
called Patty.
life.
And there's an argument to be made that Matt himself is Bart.
But y'all realize how the characters look nothing like the people based off real life? Like nobody look like their character. They just got the not even the same. Oh, they got the same name, but they look
After all,
nothing
no
like
one
them.
else seems to fit that mischievous slot, and Matt wrote
Damn,
a
that's
novel in
crazy.
high school where the main character was also called Bart Simpson. Now, of course, Groening's family didn't look all that much like the Simpsons.
That's what
in
I'm
fact,
saying.
I'd be pretty concerned
Ugh.
if they did. So why do the Simpsons have such strange appearances, haircuts, and head shapes, even when compared to their fellow Springfield residents?
Yeah, why?
Well, not only does it make them memorable to us, the audience, but it also distinguishes them from other Springfielders.
Oh.
They're the principal characters, and as
Oh yeah,
such,
because everybody else is like NPCs. They got the same looks and designs. They the only unique characters. That makes sense.
they have the most exclusive design that cannot really be seen in any other characters.
Look, like they look exactly the same. They just don't have the same hair or the same beard, but everything is like a replica. Look, they got the same nose, just not the same skin color. She looked like him a little bit. Like,
But the real mystery is, why are they yellow? Why aren't they normal skin color? Or why not blue or red or another arbitrary color?
because he
Well,
just
aside
chose
from being an
yellow.
eye-catching color that gives the show a
Right.
memorable, distinctive look, there's the fact that Bart, Lisa, and Maggie have no line to differentiate their hair from their skin. So the designers felt that yellow could kind of pass for hair and kind of pass for skin. So that's what they went with. Kind of
Oh.
like me. I might look bald, but I actually have a ton of hair.
Oh, that makes
It's just
sense.